Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to dive on in and take a first look at the Walking Dead Universe Roleplaying core rules from Free League Publishing. This is written by Nils Heinz, Matthias Johansson Haki, and Thomas Harenstam, with artwork provided by Martin Grip and Gustav Ekelund. And I apologize, I guarantee I've mispronounced at least one of those names. This 174-page hardcover with PDF is available now, carries an MSRP of $59.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $24.99. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got the Walking Dead Universe Role-Playing Core Rules. A few things to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, my friends over at Free League Publishing were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's very important that you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the book, but I do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find inside these core rules. So let's take a look at the back here. This is the Walking Dead Universe role-playing game. The Walking Dead has always been about characters facing impossible choices in an unforgiving world. With this game, you enter into the world of the dead and must face these choices head-on. You can do this at any point in the timeline, encountering familiar faces and locations, or new ones. But the hardest choice will always be the same. Who are you going to be? We have seen many stories set in the Walking Dead universe. Now it's time to see yours. In the official The Walking Dead Universe role-playing game, you will play as people struggling to survive in a hostile world. Exceptional challenges can appear from anywhere, from the lack of essential supplies, from conflicts brewing within the group, from hidden construction flaws in your safe haven, or from approaching walkers hungering for your flesh. In the game, the player characters must not only hone their physical skills, but deeply explore who they truly are, what drives them to go on, what they consider worth fighting for, and what they're capable of doing in the best and worst of times. Expect the stress and stakes to be high. The rules are based on the acclaimed Year Zero engine, pushing the boundaries of the survival genre and making sure that every group can tailor the gaming experience to suit their own interests and play style. Sweet. Now, if you joined me yesterday, you saw the starter set for the Walking Dead universe. Pretty impressive. And it is something that I definitely recommend you might want to take a peek at. Now, I am going to discuss some aspects of the Year Zero engine that is going to be a little redundant if you happen to watch yesterday's video, but maybe you didn't. So maybe you're just tuning in to check out the rule book. So we're going to have an introduction, then the world of the dead, the player characters, skills and talents, combat and healing, home and away, running the game, Atlanta, the Golden Ambulance, which is probably an adventure. And then we've got an appendix. And we also have rules for solo play. Very nice. So if you are not overly familiar with the Year Zero engine, what you're going to have is you're going to have your attributes, and then you're going to have skills. Now, those skills are not all encompassing. The skills in Year Zero engine games tend to be pretty broad. So we already saw in the starter set, there are a dozen skills. We may see more than that in this core rulebook, but if we do have more, I highly doubt it's going to be too many more. So we're going to get a breakdown of what is role-playing, it seems like. Then we're going to get into the player characters as well as the world of the dead. So we have pushing rolls and stress. So as far as action resolution in Year Zero engine games, you're going to have a dice pool. Sometimes it might be one die, it could be a couple of dice. And what you're looking to do is roll your six-sided dice. You're looking to roll sixes for successes. Now, normally, just a single six is required to succeed at the task you're attempting. I don't know in particular if That's going to be the case with the Walking Dead Universe Roleplaying, but that's usually how the Year Zero engine games work. So as an example, maybe I've got a pool of 3 dice with my attributes and my skills, trying to attempt something. Hey, look at that. There's a success. Now, there's also stress. That's what this section is here. If you're familiar with Alien, the role-playing game from Free League Publishing, which is a fantastic role-playing game, we also have stress dice. These stress dice are added to your pool of dice as you gain stress points. So the reality is, the more stress dice you have, the more apt you are to succeed at a task, but you're also far more likely to make mistakes. So as we see here on a 6, we get the same bullseye as we do on the regular die. But then on the 1, we have a hand, which is bad news. We do not want hands popping up when we're rolling dice. I should mention, these dice come from the starter set. We get a slew of them. With that starter set, you've got plenty of dice for your entire table to be able to roll. So talking about other dice rolls, so we do have a D66. We also have a D666. So here it looks like we've got the World of the Dead. So this might be a bit of our background and gazetteer. I know we've got a section devoted to Atlanta. So we've got core aspects of the game. So we've got archetypes, which we did not see archetypes in the starter set because for the most part, starter sets do not include character creation rules. We are going to see this here. It shows that creating your character, you're going to go through some steps. Choose an archetype, choose a name, choose an issue, choose your drive, distribute 13 points amongst your attributes. There are 4. Distribute 12 points amongst your skills. Choose a talent, choose your gear, define your relationships to the other player characters, choose 2 anchors, and describe your starting haven. So our attributes are strength, agility, wits, and empathy. Our skills, looks like they are the same from the starter set. Close combat, endure, force, mobility, ranged combat, stealth, scout, survival, tech, leadership, manipulation, and medicine. Stress and anchors. 2 people in the group are going to be important to you. Those are going to be your anchors. We also have breaking points, being shattered. When you become shattered, you start suffering from delusions, bad habits, or beliefs accumulated as a result of losing your mind. So shattered is something new. That is not something I have seen before with Year Zero engine games. So we've got gear, experience, relationships, your haven. Examples of some starting havens. We've got the bus on a hill, the factory, the villa. Here we got our archetypes. The criminal, the doctor, the farmer, the homemaker, the kid, the law enforcer, the nobody, the outcast, the politician, the preacher, the scientist, the soldier. A lot of archetypes here. And reality is, it would be pretty easy to come up with new archetypes as well. So now we're going to get into skills and talents. It'll be a discussion of each of the different skills is my guess. So it's talking about tasks, pushing the roll. So this is a game where you're able to push a roll. You can roll again, but of course, normally with most role-playing games, if you push a roll and fail, then the consequences of that failure tend to be far steeper than they would have been. Now, I do know in the Walking Dead Universe role-playing game, when you push a roll, you're also going to gain a stress point. And you only gain 1 stress point at a time, as far as I understand. Here's our list of skills. And then we have talents. So we have the criminal's talents, the doctor's talents. So we're getting the talents from all of the various different archetypes. Also talks about creating new talents. Gotta say, this looks really good. Those of you out there who might be wondering if the Walking Dead universe is going to utilize the same sort of mechanics as, say, Twilight 2000 4th edition, also from Free League Publishing. It doesn't look like that's the case. We are only using 6-sided dice, whereas in Twilight 2000 4th edition, we use various sizes of dice. We're still looking to roll a 6 or higher on those dice. But this does appear to me to be far less crunchy than the Twilight 2000 4th edition rules. Artwork throughout looks really good. Really liking this. We have critical injuries. We have a critical injury chart. So if you happen to like having critical hits, well, you're going to fit right on in with this. And it looked as if they can be really deadly. That's something else that I like from what I saw in the starter set. Combat should be pretty lethal, which in a game which is based on The Walking Dead, I would think is a given. Here we've got some of the weapons here. So close combat weapons, ranged weapons. I do believe each of the characters, NPCs, player characters and such, will have 3 health points. So it's not as if you're going to have a lot of health that you can lose. Here we have threat levels. I believe threat levels are something new. There is a threat level dial, which comes in the starter set. There's quite a bit in the starter set. And I have to say, right now, as I record this, the starter set PDF over at DriveThruRPG is a phenomenal deal. It's $9.99. I don't know if that's going to be the permanent pricing to get the starter set in PDF. So we've got our havens, characteristics of the haven, capacity, defense, issues, projects, teaching survivors, building gear. We get some haven examples here. The old schoolhouse, the rooftop apartment, the mall. Ooh, a little Dawn of the Dead reference there. Nice. Here it appears we get some game master advice as far as running the game, creating cool NPC factions. I always like saying that if you're not overly familiar with The Walking Dead as a franchise, comic book, and the various television series, The Walking Dead are not the zombies. The Walking Dead are the survivors. They are the humans. Sessions and scenes. So this does look like this is a scene-based role-playing game. Looks as if we're going to have quite a few various different sub-mechanics to the game, such as your haven. Looks like we've got a bunch of random NPCs with names, backgrounds, what they're experts at. So here we've got NPCs and animals making it come alive. Survival mode scenarios, because we do have a couple of ways to play the Walking Dead universe role-playing. We have survival scenarios, which are going to be 1 or 2 sessions in length. And then we also have the campaign mode, where you're going to have multiple adventures all leading through a campaign. Creating NPC survivors for that haven, different factions, the living, the reborn, the school, swarms and locations, Peach Farm, the Lake Boat Settlement. Here's the Golden Ambulance, which is going to be our introductory adventure. Now, there is an adventure in the starter set. It is one of the survival adventures, so it's pretty short. It's called The Wolf's Den, but it did seem like it's pretty interesting. This is pretty short as well. Then we're going to get into some appendices. So we've got walkers, empty rooms, random locations. So this looks like this would be aimed at gamers and game masters who might like to play things on the fly. Zero prep looks like this might be really well suited for that. So we've got tables on NPC secret issues, their gear, scavenging. Then we get solo play. This is what I believe we wrap up with. Creating your solo survivor, solo tools. We've got the Luck Oracle. So if you are not overly familiar with solitaire role-playing games, There's usually what is referred to as an oracle, sort of a yes, no kind of mechanic. Yes, no, maybe in some cases. Here we have some procedures for solitaire play. Then we'll get into our character sheets. Wow, kind of interesting. It's 3 pages. And is this our haven? No, this is our travel log. That is our haven sheet and our challenge sheet. So the player character sheet is only 1 page. I was going to say, for being a relatively rules-light role-playing game, I'd be pretty surprised if we had 3 pages devoted to the character sheet. Gotta say, this looks mighty impressive. I'm excited. I am pumped to have an opportunity to check out both the starter set as well as these core rules. And of course, I will have a review of the core rules for the Walking Dead Universe Roleplaying very soon. Nice. I mentioned this when I was talking about the starter set in yesterday's video. In my opinion, there isn't really a zombie role-playing game that has grabbed me that I have checked out. I'll be the first to admit I have not had an opportunity to take a peek at a lot of zombie role-playing games. I know All Flesh Must Be Eaten is pretty popular, but I've never checked that out. But some of the other zombie role-playing games that I have had an opportunity to share reviews of have been okay. This might be our go-to. Even if you don't want to run the Walking Dead universe, this might be your go-to as far as zombie role-playing games. And of course, I will let you know when I share my review. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you out there get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.